If excessive blinking were an Olympic sport, Meghan Markle would be taking home the gold. But unfortunately for her, Drew Barrymore seems to have seen right through the performance, and the results are downright hilarious. Meghan made a rare television appearance on The Drew Barrymore Show because no one else invited her. The interview was intended to promote her cooking show, but instead it's become infamous for a completely different reason. Her erratic, almost robotic blinking, coupled with Drew Barrymore's priceless expressions of barely contained skepticism. As Meghan launched into yet another well-rehearsed anecdote, this time about a father figure imparting relationship wisdom that she and H, supposedly live by. Drew looked on, radiating an energy best described as, "Oh, sweetie, please." Meghan earnestly gushed about how she and her husband keep the spark alive through endless romance, but something about the jittery blinking, the downward glances, and the uncomfortable body language just screamed, "I don't believe a word of this either." Drew Barrymore, a woman who has navigated Hollywood since childhood, survived personal battles, and built a career based on authenticity, was not about to be taken for a fool. As Meghan spoke, Drew's facial expressions became a masterclass in silent disbelief. A slight head tilt, a raised brow, an almost imperceptible suck. Each one subtly screaming, "Is this lady for real?" One of the most talked about moments, Meghan's bizarre refusal to say Harry's name. Instead, she defaulted to H, as though referring to her spouse by his actual name would somehow break the illusion she's so desperately curated. Imagine being so deep in the branding game that your own husband's identity has to be trimmed down for marketing purposes, and then there's the blinking. Oh, the blinking. Viewers were quick to call it out as one of the most obvious tells of discomfort, deception, or just plain bad acting. The rapid, almost mechanical nature of it had audiences mesmerized. Was she trying to send a Morse code SOS? Was she malfunctioning mid-sentence? Was she buffering? Whatever the reason, it was impossible to ignore, and Drew's deadpan reaction only made it funnier. Social media wasted no time dissecting the interaction. Clips of Drew's expression as Meghan waxed poetic about her perfect marriage flooded the internet. "Blink if you're lying," one user joked. "Drew is trying so hard not to roll her eyes into another dimension," another observed. And who could blame her? This is a woman who has spent decades interviewing real A-listers, legends, and genuine talents. To be stuck across from Meghan Markle, a walking PR machine with all the charm of a malfunctioning chatbot, must have been excruciating, perhaps the most telling sign of all. Drew was noticeably restrained. Gone was the gushing, bubbly persona she's known for. Instead, she sat there, eyes locked on Meghan, radiating an energy of, "I have seen way too much Hollywood nonsense to fall for this." So what did we learn from this masterpiece of awkwardness? Meghan Markle may be committed to selling her fantasy, but when confronted with someone who has spent a lifetime in the entertainment industry, the cracks are impossible to hide. The blinking, the forced storytelling, the inability to look Drew in the eye, it all adds up to one thing, a performance that nobody is buying. At the end of the day, Drew didn't have to say a word. Her face did all the talking. And for Meghan, that's got to sting more than any direct call-out ever could.